Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss about reheat cycle. Reheat cycle is a modified form of vapor power cycle to get more efficiency. As I have discussed about the Rankine cycle and the vapor power cycle. So reheat cycle is another modified form of vapor power cycle. So as per the name, you can see here we will reheat the working fluid. So this cycle is based on the reheat process where we are reheating the working fluid to increase the efficiency. So this is basically what it is, the modified vapor power cycle. Now, as we have discussed about the Rankine cycle. So this is the Rankine cycle. So here we are considering Rankine cycle is also the modified form of vapor power cycle, which is a combination of 4 or 5 processes. So basically we consider 4 processes. So 1 to 2 is representing the isentropic expansion. 2 to 3 is representing condensation process where heat rejection is happening. 3 to 4 is the compression work process where the fluid is transferred to the boiler, and 1 to 4 dash or 4 dash to 1 we are representing as the heat addition, or this will be constant temperature heat addition. So this is about the Rankine cycle. Now what is the need of Rankine cycle? So in Rankine cycle, after expansion at point 2, we will get liquid plus vapor combination of the working fluid. So this liquid plus vapor will further go in vapor power cycle at point 3, and it will be in the liquid plus vapor form only. So if we want to transfer this liquid plus vapor combination to the boiler, so we are not able to attain the proper boiler pressure from the condenser pressure if we are transferring the liquid plus vapor mixture. But if we are extending this line till point 3, so it is converting into saturated liquid, complete liquid or pure liquid. So it is easier for us to transfer this liquid to the boiler with attained boiler pressure. So here, this drawback we can resolve. This was the drawback when we are transferring liquid plus vapor. So we are not able to attain the exact boiler pressure which we require. So to get the required value of the boiler pressure, we are converting this liquid plus vapor into saturated liquid. So we can easily transfer this liquid to the boiler with proper boiler pressure. This particular, when we are at this point, suppose this is the 3 dash point. So it is not practically possible. So to define the practically possible process, we have to transfer this 3 dash point to 3, and when we are modifying this point 3 to the saturated liquid line, so this particular process or this cycle is defined as a Rankine cycle. Now here at point 2 also you can see this is also representing liquid plus vapor condition. So in basic Rankine cycle, what we have done after isentropic expansion in turbine from process 1 to 2, the steam is transferred to the condenser, and this particular process, condenser, is defining the condensation process, and it is easily defined in the TS diagram. So here this particular steam after expansion at this point, it is in liquid plus vapor form. So this steam after expansion, which is in liquid plus vapor form, or it is in liquid plus vapor region. So after expansion, it will leave some moisture content. See, this is the combination. So it will have lot of moisture. So moisture content will be higher after expansion, and this higher moisture content can cause many type of disadvantages. So this higher moisture content can cause corrosion into the blade or corrosion into the parts where we are transferring. So this particular high moisture content can cause corrosion, it can leave solid particle behind that can stuck, and the solid particle is not possible to remove easily. It is leaving the solid particle or scale behind. So here the moisture content will be higher at this particular condition when the steam, the remaining steam is leaving the point 2. So what it can do, it can cause so many types of disadvantage. First disadvantage is it can corrode the blade, or it can corrode the part where we are transferring. And one more disadvantage is it can leave scale or solid particle behind, which is difficult to remove from this part. So here, to overcome this particular problem, we will reduce the moisture content after evaporation. This is the solution to reduce the moisture or to avoid the disadvantages or problem. So here, when we are considering higher moisture content or scale or solid particle behind after evaporation, it may bring down the temperature, or we can say mean temperature, as well as it will bring down the efficiency of the cycle. So in this condition, efficiency can reduce and mean temperature can reduce. So to avoid this condition, what we have to do, we have to reduce the moisture content from here, as well as we have to remove the scale and solid particle from here, so that blades cannot corrode, or there will not be any problem of choking can happen because of scale and solid particle. So here what we can do, we can shift this point to this particular line, saturated vapor line. So here, if we shift this point to saturated vapor line, so this is reducing the moisture content or percentage of moisture content, and since it is in complete vapor form, so it will not have any type of solid particle or scale. But here you can see 3 2. Suppose if we are considering this point as 2 dash, so it is increasing the condenser work. Here 1 to 2, in place of 1 to 2, we are keeping this process to 1 to 2 dash. So it is increasing the expansion work, but it is increasing the condenser work also. But it is good for efficiency and mean temperature. We can improve the efficiency, we can remove the dirt particle or scale easily, or we can reduce the moisture content, we can avoid the corrosion. So these disadvantages we can avoid by shifting this point 2 to point 2 dash. So this 2 dash can happen when we heat this particular part. Moisture content, if we remove the moisture content, so this moisture content we can easily remove by heating this liquid plus vapor combination. So if we heat this particular part, so that process is called reheating process. Reheating of steam or the remaining steam which we are transferring to the condenser. So that is why it is called reheat cycle. Why? Because we are reheating this moisture, or we are reheating this liquid plus vapor content to convert into the complete vapor form. That is why it is called reheat cycle. So this cycle will change, and this cycle we can define on the basis of flow diagram. So you can easily understand with the help of flow diagram here. See, first if we see the efficiency, so efficiency how it will reduce. So formula of efficiency we can define as 1 minus T2 by T1. So basically this T2 is lower temperature and T1 is the higher temperature. So it is in this particular condition, what is happening? Mean temperature is reducing. Mean temperature is what? Mean temperature is the highest temperature. So here, if this highest temperature will reduce, in that case, the efficiency value will also reduce. So by this way, we can define the reduction in efficiency. And to avoid this issue, or to avoid this problem, we will reheat the steam to convert, or we will reheat this liquid plus vapor combination to convert into the complete vapor form. Now let's see this flow diagram of the reheat cycle. So here we have number of parts. The parts are same: boiler, then turbines, then here we will have condenser and then pump. But one more term we are going to add here, that is the reheater. And this turbine we are dividing into two parts: high pressure turbine and low pressure turbine. So how this reheat cycle work, or how the system will work during reheating? So first section is what? Our first section is boiler. So boiler will get heat from external source called furnace. So heat will come through the boiler from the furnace. So here boiler, in this particular boiler, the water will boil and it will convert into the steam. And the steam will be at higher pressure and higher temperature. So in boiler section, we usually supply heat to the boiler where the pressure is always constant, but it will be at higher side. So steam will be at higher pressure and higher temperature. So this higher pressure, high temperature steam will transfer to the turbine, that is higher pressure turbine. Initially it will transfer to higher pressure turbine. This HP turbine means higher pressure turbine. So suppose our pressure and temperature in this condition is P1 and T1, and this process we will mark as process 1 or point 1. Now in this higher pressure turbine, because why we are considering this as the higher pressure turbine? Because this turbine is accepting higher pressure, higher temperature steam. So here we required higher pressure turbine to handle this higher pressure steam to expand during expansion process. So here in this particular higher pressure turbine, the steam will expand and then it will goes to the reheater. After expansion, the pressure will reduce and that reduced pressure steam will transfer to the reheater. So in this particular process, if we see this diagram here, if we see, so 1, 2, 2. So initially what we are doing, so from higher pressure turbine, the steam will reduce the pressure and it will become the intermediate pressure. So here 1, 2, 2 process is defining the expansion of higher pressure steam, and this higher pressure steam will expand here and it will transfer to the reheater, and when the heat is leaving or when the steam is leaving, it will be at another pressure that is called the intermediate pressure. So the steam at intermediate pressure will transfer to the reheater where it will reheat, it will increase its temperature, and this higher pressure or the intermediate pressure steam, which is lower than the higher pressure, will transfer to the lower pressure turbine, and in this lower pressure turbine it will again reduce its pressure and it will convert into the work. So this particular steam which is at the intermediate pressure will transfer to the lower pressure turbine, and here it will move the turbine or it will run the turbine. The steam will expand into this turbine and it will produce the turbine work WT, where this lower pressure turbine is connected to another device called generator. So this particular turbine work is useful for the generator to run. So here after expansion from the lower pressure turbine, it will transfer to the condenser and it will condense. The steam will condense here, it will reject heat, and then the complete water form of the working fluid, where in this condenser we are condensing the steam. So the steam is completely converted into the water or in liquid form. So that complete liquid form will transfer to the pump, and to pump this water we have to do some pump work, and from here from pump this working fluid will again transfer to the boiler. So here this process will continue, and this process we can consider as the cyclic process. So here what is happening, we are reheating the steam after when it passed through the high pressure turbine to increase the temperature, and this increased temperature is defining the superheated temperature of steam. Then the superheated steam will again transfer to the lower pressure turbine, and it will expand and it will go to the further processes. So what we are doing, initially we will increase the temperature till superheated condition, and then we will transfer to the high pressure turbine. And here we have provided lower pressure turbine, so it cannot handle the as it is pressure. So we have to reduce the pressure, but we have to increase the temperature to convert the steam into, or to convert the liquid plus vapor into complete vapor form or in complete steam form only at the condenser point. So here this is the process of reheating, but one disadvantage we will have, that is it will increase the condenser work and it will be a cyclic process. So here how many pressure we are considering? We are considering high pressure, we are considering intermediate pressure, and we are considering lower pressure. So three types of pressure is here, and temperature will also variable. So temperature here we are trying to improve or increase. But here you have to remember, during every phase change, the pressure will be constant. Temperature will be variable, but pressure will be constant every time. During heat addition and heat rejection, temperature will be constant, but pressure will be constant at each and every phase change. So this is all about the reheat cycle, where we are getting three pressure: high, intermediate and low pressure. But if we draw the TS diagram here, so this will be the TS diagram of the reheat cycle. Or if we talk about steam turbine, so if we are applying the concept of reheat, so that will be defined as reheat steam turbine. So here turbine is in this particular condition, whatever processes we are performing, turbine will be mounted on one shaft only. It will not mount on the different shafts. Both the turbines should be mounted on the one shaft only, and it will be further connected to the generator. So this point you have to remember. And mass flow rate in the cycle should be constant. Mass flow rate should not change, because if we are changing the mass flow rate, so it will change the phase, or it will convert the vapor or liquid plus vapor. If we are converting liquid plus vapor into complete vapor, so it will again convert the vapor into liquid plus vapor. So at one time we have to provide constant mass, or mass flow rate should be constant in both the turbine isentropically. And here if we draw the TS diagram or PV diagram. So here I have drawn the TS diagram. So in this TS diagram, how we are considering the processes. So at point 1, you can see, as we are considering three pressure: high pressure, intermediate pressure and low pressure. So here entry to the pump is considered at saturated liquid condition. Entry to the pump at point 5. Initially, what was the entry? Initially, the entry point was 3, but here our entry point to the pump is 5 and entry point to the condenser is 4. And all other points are changed. Entry point to the turbine is point 1, which is in the superheated condition. So here our boiler work is also increased to increase the temperature of the steam, and condenser work has also increased. So let's see the flow diagram, or let's see this TS diagram here according to flow diagram. So here at entry point, if we are considering entry point for the saturated liquid in the compressor, so it is defined as 0.5, and here pressure is directly going from low to high. In this particular condition, the pressure is directly going from low to high because it is not at the phase change. So pressure will go from low to high in this particular process. So this point will be here, this point 5 will be directly go to point 6. So 5 to 6 is representing the pump work process, and it will be easier for us to transfer the liquid or saturated liquid to the boiler. So 5 to 6 is representing the higher pressure condition. Now when it reach point 6, so from 6 to 1, there is a constant pressure process we will apply, and steam will be superheat in this condition. The steam which we are getting from 6 to 1, it will be a superheated steam. So here this point 1 which is in the superheated condition is considered as the entry point of the turbine. Now from point 1 to 2, you can see the point 1 to 2, there is an isentropic expansion is happening. So at this point 2, at this particular point 2, the steam will be in dry saturated condition. Now if we further move from here directly to the condenser, if we are skipping the low pressure turbine, in that case, we will get the same position, liquid plus vapor. So here, this process should not go beyond point 2. Otherwise, we will get the same condition, liquid plus vapor. So here from 1 to 2, there is an isentropic expansion is happening. And at point 2, the steam will be in dry saturated condition. Now to avoid this condition, what we will do? Here from 2 point, we will reheat the steam again up to point 3. So this particular process is also defined as the constant pressure process. So here from this point, the steam will start reheating, and here at this end, the steam will be dry saturated, and at this end, the steam will be in superheated condition. So if we consider this process as the superheated process, so it will increase the temperature of the steam. And this is the ideal reheat process. But here it is difficult to attain the same pressure. So here you can see the difference in the point 1 and 2. So after dry saturated steam, it is not easier for us to get the same temperature. So this temperature limit will be lower than the previous one. So here it is difficult to attain the higher temperature or the temperature more than temperature at point 1. So here we will get again superheated steam but at less temperature. Now from point 3, what will happen? 3 to 4, again there is isentropic process will happen. So from 3 to 4, we will consider isentropic expansion. And here after isentropic expansion, when we reach point 4, and this will be performed in low pressure turbine, we will get completely saturated vapor form or completely saturated steam. There will not be any type of liquid we will get here at point 4. So here this particular steam or working fluid will be in gaseous form here. Now from 4 to 5, when we get complete gas form of the working fluid, so from 4 to 5, there is a condensation process will be performed, and here this condensation process will convert the gas into liquid from 4 to 5. So here you can see the area of this steam turbine or area of this steam power cycle is going to increase because of 4 to 5 process or because of the superheated process. Suppose if we are getting this particular process, so here we will be at the same point, liquid plus vapor, but it will increase the area if we are superheating the steam at point 1. So it will have more efficiency than the Rankine cycle. But if we are getting this steam in completely vapor form only, not in liquid plus vapor, so it is again increasing this area. So it means our work output is increased and efficiency will also increase. So here in this particular condition, if we define the efficiency of reheat cycle or efficiency of Rankine cycle, so by comparing these two areas, we can say the efficiency of reheat cycle is greater than the efficiency of Rankine cycle. So here we have to circulate more water to the boiler here in this condition when we are increasing the condenser load. So it will increase the amount of water, and here we have to circulate more water to the boiler from this end. First, it will be in completely gaseous state, and then it will convert into liquid state, and from here we have to supply more working fluid to the boiler. So it is increasing the boiler work also. So in short, it is increasing the work of the devices, but because of these processes, the efficiency will also increase. So if we compare this with the simple Rankine cycle, so in this simple Rankine cycle, if we see 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the simple Rankine cycle. Or if we convert this as simple Rankine cycle. So suppose this particular cycle 1, suppose here I am writing 2 dash. So 1, 2 dash, 5, 6 is the simple Rankine cycle. So here low temperature is fixed and mean temperature will be at somewhere in intermediate condition, or it will be at higher side only. So here low temperature limit we cannot change. It will be fixed for the reheat condition, or it will be same as the Rankine cycle if we compare reheat and Rankine cycle. So low temperature is fixed, but mean temperature limit can be increased. But if we talk about reheat cycle, so in reheat cycle, if we define the area, this term is representing the area of the Rankine cycle. Now, if we talk about the reheat cycle, so it is defined as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is representing reheat cycle. So it is again increasing the area, so the efficiency will also increase. Here lower temperature will be fixed and mean temperature will be at higher side. Suppose for Rankine cycle our mean temperature is at this point. So for reheat cycle, because we are converting this gas to the liquid, so it will be at the somewhere more than the, or somewhere at this point more than the Rankine cycle. So in this case the mean temperature is increasing as well as lower temperature is constant, so higher temperature limit will be also increasing. In that case we can see efficiency will increase for the reheat cycle. Now if we calculate with the help of some equations, so first if we see the Rankine cycle, so in Rankine cycle, if we define heat addition. So for Rankine cycle, if we define the heat addition, so it will be defined by Q1. So it will be defined by H1 minus H6 from this particular cycle. Similarly, we want to define the heat addition for the reheat cycle. So this will be the heat addition and this will be the heat addition for the reheat cycle. So for reheat cycle, the heat addition, suppose we are considering heat addition, so it will be Q1 plus Q1 dash. This will be defined as Q1, this heat addition between 1 to 6, and between 2 to 3, the heat addition is Q1 dash. So it will be Q1 plus Q1 dash. So it will be what? It will be H1 minus H6 plus H3 minus H2 from here. H1 minus H6 plus H3 minus H2. It will be at higher side. So this is about the heat addition. So if we compare this heat addition, so heat addition in the reheat cycle is more than the heat addition in the Rankine cycle. So here if we define the efficiency or thermal efficiency, so 1 minus TL by TH. So this heat addition is representing what? The value of TH is increased in reheat cycle compared to Rankine cycle. In that case, what is happening? The efficiency will increase. This value will be lower, so the complete value of the thermal efficiency will increase. So here we will get higher efficiency in reheat cycle. Now if we talk about here, so efficiency of the reheat we can write down here. is greater than the efficiency of Rankine. And in this particular cycle, the dryness fraction will also improve. In reheat cycle, basically dryness fraction is also improving because we are getting complete gaseous form at point 4. So this is also helping to increase the efficiency. Now here, if we define the another term, that is heat rejection. So heat rejection we will consider during the condensation process. So here at one point, if we talk about Rankine cycle, so in Rankine cycle, we are transferring the liquid plus vapor to the condenser. So here dryness fraction is less. But in reheat cycle, the dryness fraction is improved because we are transferring complete gaseous or complete vapor form. So heat rejection value for the Rankine cycle, suppose if we are defining Q2 for the Rankine cycle, this is the heat rejection. So it will be defined as what? H2 dash minus H5. Let's see here, H2 dash minus H5. But if we talk about the reheat cycle, so it will be H4 minus H5, which is greater. So Q2 of reheat will be H4 minus H5. So here this Q2 is greater than the Q2 of Rankine. So in that case, efficiency of reheat will be greater than efficiency of Rankine cycle. So this is another term. So here, this particular term is representing the disadvantage. This is representing disadvantage also. Why? Because heat rejection is increased here compared to Rankine cycle. So it will increase the condenser work. Here condenser has to convert more steam or more vapor into liquid form. So it will increase the condenser work. So that is considered as disadvantage of the reheat cycle. Now let's discuss about the work output or output work. So work output we usually define as turbine work. So here if we define the turbine work for Rankine cycle. So turbine work for Rankine cycle we will define as H1 minus H2 dash. From the cycle you can see H1 minus H2 dash is the turbine work. But here in reheat cycle it will be H1 minus H2 plus H3 minus H4. So WT for the reheat, it will be defined as H1 minus H2 plus H3 minus H4. We can write down as WT or WT dash as per you. So H1 minus H2 plus H3 minus H4 is defined as the turbine work for the reheat cycle. So it is increasing what? It is increasing the turbine work. So in that case, WT dash is greater than WT. So here efficiency of reheat will be greater than efficiency of Rankine. So here if we define the efficiency, so it will be WT minus WP by Q1. So it will automatically representing the increased efficiency. So here we can, if we are neglecting the pump work, so net work done will be turbine work only in case of if we are neglecting the pump work. In that case, it will be defined as WT by W or it will be WT by Q1. So in that case also, it will increase the efficiency. Now, if we want to define the specific steam consumption, So it will be defined by the formula 3600 divided by W net. So here W net is increased. In that case, it will reduce. So efficiency will increase, but specific steam consumption will reduce. So it is improving the performance of the reheat cycle, or it will improving the performance of the steam power plant or thermal power plant. Now, if we want to define the efficiency of the reheat cycle or the complete formula of the efficiency of the reheat cycle. So it will be defined as Wt minus Wp by Q1. We have all the formulas, so we will put all those formulas here. So Wt is what? It is H1 minus H2 plus H3 minus H4 minus Wp is what? It is H6 minus H5. H6 minus H5 divided by Q1 is what? It is H1 minus H6 plus H3 minus H2. So this will be the complete formula of the efficiency of the reheat cycle. So this is all about the reheat cycle. So in conclusion, we can say the efficiency of reheat cycle is always greater than the efficiency of Rankine cycle except condenser work. In Rankine cycle, condenser work is lesser, but in reheat cycle, condenser work is greater. So this is all about the reheat cycle. Thank you so much.